We live. We live here in Ottawa. Day number 2, 2023 Volleyball Nations League. My name is Everett Delorme, joined as always by Mr. Rob St. Clair. That shot actually looks really good.
It looks really good.
It almost looks like we're like edited in, like green screened in.
But no, like that's the court.
I promise we're not. Maybe we should just make you run down and go do some jumping jacks on the court too.
Maybe do some spiking.
Yeah, I mean, we wouldn't want to embarrass ourselves.
True.
We did that last year after one of the nights. We were hitting some balls. And, yeah, it was pretty good. But we're back. Day number 2. Day number 2 for the men's VNL is fully underway. Of course, we had 2 matches going on in Japan overnight that we're going to talk about, and then 2 matches to preview here in Ottawa.
My beloved United States getting underway in just over an hour. My first time ever being at an event covering the USA.
He's a kid in the candy store.
I'm very excited.
Yeah,
These are some of my heroes, and I'm trying not to freak out about it.
Spra already asked me, he couldn't find any of his staff, and he's like, hey, if I can't find them, will you be on the bench with me? So I think I already know who his favorite Volleyball Source member is. And now you're going to have to look back.
Yeah, uphill battle for me. But
yeah, for sure.
At least I look the part. Got the USA on today. Lighting makes it looks like you're on a green screen. No, we're not. That's actually the VNL court behind us. It's pretty sweet.
And safe to say the smoke was extra bad this morning.
Smoke's bad.
We actually ended up driving today just because the smoke in Ottawa and in all of Eastern Canada, in the Eastern United States, is really bad. Just some forest fires going on.
Fortunately, volleyball is an indoor sport, and I think let's jump into it.
Yeah.
Overnight, we saw 2 matches in Japan. The last couple teams that have yet to kick off their VNL, we saw them, and it was 2 bangers, to be honest.
Yeah,
we watched
matches.
We watched the highlights. We've done a little bit of analysis on these, so we're not going in totally blind, even though we didn't watch any of these games live. Let's start with the first one. Slovenia beats Serbia 3-1. 31-29, 19-25, 25-20, 25-21.
I'm not surprised.
No,
I think the Slovenian team, A, it's their guys, and B, they just got a 4th at the World Championships. They've been solid over the past decade. This is a good team when they bring their guys. They've got the Rock Moses, they've got Brunat, they've got Chibul.
Yeah, the Rock is in the building. They did 2 things this week that I've been begging them to do for a couple of years. One is start Gregor Ropret. I'm sick of seeing Dejan Vincic start over Ropret when Ropret is clearly the better center. And Vincic isn't even on the roster this week, so I liked that move. I also really liked lining up Clem and Chibul at opposite, but then using him in the passing pattern sometimes and sort of shuffling him and Rock around to hit different spots in the back row. A little bit like a Trentino-like 3 outside system from last year. I really, really liked that.
Yeah, I think it worked out well for them. I mean, Ropret, 40% efficiency on the day for the Slovenian hitters, so that's fantastic.
Yeah, 40% as a team.
Early on in this VNL is good. 50% hitting, 40% efficiency. That's really damn good. And then saw Chibul pass some balls. You're seeing all 3 of their outsides. Chibul was the least set at 23 attempts, 35 for earn-out, 43 for the Rock. Not paying any attention to the middle. I ain't got 13 sets, but he did get 4 blocks though.
This is a long 4-set match. I mean, they went pretty deep into overtime in set 1, so some pretty big numbers
over
here.
2 hours.
Yeah, it's a very long 4-setter.
For a 4-setter, yeah.
But good volleyball. For the first match in VNL, we're never exactly sure how high the level is going to be, but both these teams look pretty good. Even Serbia with kind of a similar team to what we saw last year, but without Jovovic, so we have huge question marks at setter. We saw Milan Katic started outside for some reason. Then they brought in Peric across from Kijunzic, who we agreed from last year was
both
really good.
Big difference from this year, though, is Drazen Lubric.
It's back.
He was completely off the roster last year.
Right. He was
they
hurt
brought in
the whole summer.
Petkovic, and they brought in
Aquaman,
Nikola Malnjanac. But this year, the 2 biggest, they have Anton Asievich. He's not on this week's roster, but he is on the 30-man. So I love seeing Drazen Lubric back in the Serbian fold of things. But just not good enough today to beat Slovenia. And I'm very interested to see where this Serbian team goes. Serbia, to me, I think is almost on the bubble of being one of those really, really good elite teams that might be falling out of their position amongst the elites.
I think
kind of the way of the Bulgaria.
Oh, first, Bulgaria is going to beat all those teams to the bottom of the proud former generations of great volleyball teams that are really on the decline. But it's going. Bulgaria is clearly down the most right now. Serbia, and then even Brazil. I think might be on their way down the hill ever so slightly. But Serbia, I think this is a big VNL for them, and I'm not optimistic on their chances to make the playoffs.
No, I think the big thing, the playoffs with the Serbian squad.
That would be a really good achievement.
And I do like some of the young guys, like we talked about Peric, we talked about Kujandzic. We saw these guys here last year in Ottawa.
Yeah.
And I think they're solid. They're just not quite what that old generation was. You know,
and the setter changed. Vuk Todorovic was the setter today. He's just really forgettable in my opinion. 33% efficiency as a team for Serbia compared to 40 for Slovenia, I think is a huge difference.
Yeah.
And I honestly think that's the setter and the experience just a little bit.
We're going to turn our mics down. People are saying that they can hear the background music a little bit, so
okay,
we can just talk a little bit louder into our mics, and hopefully it'll pick up less of what's going on behind us. Just let us know in the chat.
Yeah, we're fighting against the in-house DJs here before warm-ups get started here for the first match. Yeah, come on, Paul.
Bro.
DJ Paul, he's our homie.
I thought you were our friend.
Anyway, this match was good. I think this is a good kind of tone setter for both these teams. Both would like to make the playoffs. I'm not totally sure either of them will.
I think Slovenia will.
Slovenia is good enough to.
Yeah.
But last year
I think they will.
Last year they had a really bad week one, and they're already off to a better start.
Yes.
And I really like Rokret, and I really like Chebul at opposite, and using all three outside hitters. I think that works really well for them.
Yeah. Kovacic, sorry. It looks like he had a game too. 20 passes, 23 times, 70% positive, 48% perfect. Maybe we can talk to those volley station guys about getting some league stats.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Because they do that for the Bundesliga, and it would be nice. But anything else to talk about this Slovenia versus Serbia game? Who do these two teams play next?
Good question.
That is going to be mine.
Slovenia plays Bulgaria. That's tonight.
Yeah.
And then Serbia plays China. So that should be wins for both.
Yeah, I think those are both of the next two games. They both play tonight.
Yeah.
Next day.
Slovenia Bulgaria is 11 p.m. tonight. We can actually watch that game.
Ooh. I mean, I don't think it's going to be that. Like, we can turn it on.
Yeah, it's not going to be. Really,
maybe we can have it. Maybe we do a drunk stream tonight.
Ooh, and have it on in the background. That actually is a great idea.
That might be the way to go with this. Yeah, because now we're getting into the 3 games per day.
Right, starting Thursday.
Yeah. So
I think we should move on, though.
Yeah, I absolutely think we should move on. Poland taking down the defending VNL champs 3-1. Also in Japan. Of course, France bringing a B team.
Battle of the B teams.
Battle of the B teams, absolutely. But Poland's B team just looks a little bit better. Bruchin had a day. He was really big. What did he have, 25?
He had 25.
20 for 35.
And this was a really good match. I mean, 25-23 in the first, 35-33 in the third.
Yeah.
Very spicy. Emil Semeniuk, and we first looked at the stats because we woke up, obviously this match was overnight. We were like, oh my goodness, no. Semeniuk, 4 for 15, 0% efficiency. But when we watched the highlights, he had an ace and 2 stuff blocks in overtime in the third.
Yeah.
Without that, Poland would not have won that set.
And that's to me where this whole Semeniuk decline all of a sudden is interesting. Because whenever you watch him, he finds ways to bring value in other areas of the game. But offensively, up late,
no confidence.
No confidence whatsoever. And I wonder, I wonder how badly playing with Bruges this year messed him up. And I mean, he's going back for another year.
Yes.
So he's got to figure it out.
Yes, he does.
But yeah, overall, just Semeniuk, it was so long us watching the highlights until we saw Semeniuk highlights. And, how Bruchin was out there, like Shalpuk looked pretty good too.
Shalpuk did look good.
I think if we were to have an award for the comeback player of the year, we'd give it to last year we gave it to Stefan Boyer. I think this year would be Arthur Shalpuk.
Very well deserved. Poland's, as for B teams in the world that are expected to be at least competitive at the VNL level, I would say that it's Poland and Italy. And those two teams have the best leagues in the world. They have as good of the development systems as there are in the world. But this Polish B team would be a good Bundesliga team. Like if this was a team in the Bundesliga,
this Polish B team would be a good VNL team.
Straight up,
this Polish B team would make the playoffs.
And then they'd
be on the lower end.
Yeah,
but they would make the playoffs.
Yeah, we love Butryn. We really like Jan Firle as the second or third setter. Klos and Biniak in the middle is an unbelievable duo.
That's essentially your starter.
Pretty close.
You're just missing Kobanowski.
Right. And so this Polish B team should beat this particular French B team.
Yeah.
Core at center, tail far at opposite. Is it Corey?
Okay.
But then the commentators are messing that one up. No surprise there. But I'm also terrible at French names. Bultor and Juffon in the middle, Carl and Tilly at outside.
Yeah.
And then Diaz at libero. Like that's a good French team, but it's not as good as guys like 10 through 20 Polish temperatures.
No, absolutely. I think when you look at the quality of the French league versus the Polish league, you see it right there.
Yep.
You know, the majority of the best French guys don't play in France.
True.
They play elsewhere. Whereas Poland is one of the best leagues in the world with some of the tightest foreigner rules as well. Like if you look at there's no foreigner rules in France, neither in Germany.
Right.
And there's like
one more spot in Italy compared to Poland.
But there's also there's no limitation how many bench players you have. It's just all Poland versus Poland. Yeah. So to me Poland is like Canada and hockey right now, where you can field a team with not anyone, but without some of your best players, and still win a
win a VNL match. Yeah, and this honestly looked pretty good. Looked decently high level. 13 blocks for Poland. Yeah, pretty good. Offensive efficiency numbers decently similar. Passing numbers pretty similar. Serving 8 aces for Poland compared to 3 for France is definitely a big difference.
Yeah, and less errors on that as well too. So
4 aces for Butryn.
What a monster! He is a monster. It's really too bad he plays for Poland because anywhere else, he'd be a guy.
He would be on either one of our two teams. He would push for the starting spot.
Yeah,
even the U.S.
Yeah,
I would take maybe only a healthy Matt Anderson over.
Yeah, but even then we all know that Matt Anderson is the opposite.
No, sure does not. And that I think that's a pretty good segue into the matches that we're about to see.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we'll get it set up now. We got the Netherlands against the United States of America. It's going to be the first time we see USA in this World Championship. Sorry, VNL. We have not seen anything from the Dutch yet.
No,
I didn't even get to see them practice.
Nope, we didn't even see them practice. They're coming in blind, but we do kind of know what to expect. They have Namir, and with Stein von Tilburg, who we just walked in next to, getting hurt. We walked in next to him. He was in a boot and walking very, very slowly. They really only have one opposite, that's Namir. So you better believe the Netherlands is going to ride Namir this entire week. All 4 matches, he's going to get all the balls. Can the United States game plan and stop that one guy? And I would like to think that we could.
I would say yes. Like if USA can't beat the Dutch in week 1,
we got a problem with our A team.
You guys got a problem for sure.
Yep. Especially because we play tonight and then we have tomorrow off. That I think is a good schedule. No reason not to play the best lineup today. I expect to see Anderson. I expect to see Christensen. I expect to see Smith, Shoji, Russell, DeFalco, and then the second middle is my only question mark. Do we throw Max Holt back in for the first time in 2 years just for the sake of doing it, or do we play Taylor Averill, who I think is the worthy starter?
Or go Jeff. Or go
Fourth.
I would disagree with that.
4th on this list for sure.
I would disagree with that. I think we saw Jendrick really hold it down for Team USA for over the past few years. So I think. But
the last time we saw Jendrick, he got absolutely exposed in the World Championship.
We haven't seen Taylor Averill for Team USA in a while
because Barad refuses to play him. But he had 2 MVP caliber club seasons in a row, and Jendrick did not. Averill is the better player right now, and I don't even think that's debatable.
I mean, this is John Strawman. You do not know who those many was. I don't know if there's much. How much truth is that?
Oh, it's 100% true. I have it confirmed from straight inside the locker room. My source on that no longer plays for Team USA. He has since retired, but I'll tell you who it is after this. No battle of the Hulk Bank stars. It would be cool to see Namir play against Maha.
I think we're gonna get to see it at some point.
Probably.
I think Ma's he's too versatile, especially in a 6-2.
You use him for something.
He can come in and he can play. He's just
Van
so good.
Garderen. Talking on Martin Van Garderen, who had that. Remember that one stretch 3 matches in a row for Seattle where he was
just averaging 25 points a game,
and then just forgot how to play volleyball and got relegated.
Because he had some of the nicest jerseys. Those sports
did have good jerseys.
Sienna jerseys were really, really nice.
So it's the United States' A team, I expect, against Namir Abdelaziz. So I think that's a good enough summary. What's your pick on that?
USA, I think 3-1. I think
also
the
think
Dutch. I think the Dutch are going to be able to squeeze out a win. I think they're going to be really solid. I'm excited to see them in person. It's been a while since I've seen the Dutch in person. Because 2013 was the last one, and Namir was setting for them.
Yeah,
that's the last time. That's the last time I saw the Dutch play in person. So I think they've got Benny Toenstra. They've got
Toenstra and Van Garderen is a decent outside duo. Parkinson is one of the middles. I'm not sure who the other one will be. Probably Kiemink at center, and probably Andringa and libero, I would guess. And he played outside loosely this year, actually. But he's definitely the libero for the Dutch. Yeah, I mean they're average at every position, except they have arguably the best opposite in the world. So that it is built like the average women's volleyball team right about now, which we've been talking about this week. The shift in that.
A bunch of role players that are
banging opposite. Yeah, which is exactly what Namir wants.
Yeah,
like Namir wants every ball. He never gets tired. He doesn't care about his own conditioning. He just wants every single ball. And he doesn't care about how much gas he has in the tank. And I love that about him. He's just a dude that demands the ball, and it is only right for him to switch to opposite.
Yeah, and without a doubt. So I expect this to be a good one. Like I expect the Dutch to put up a good fight and to fight hard here. But I ultimately I want to see Team USA. I said it earlier when we were just doing we just recorded another video that we're going to release in the next little bit. Both of our top all-star teams from 2010. We picked our teams just like we did yesterday, but we did in the 2010s. So that was a lot of fun. I think it's a miss for Volleyball Canada not to have USA in the primetime game. Because that would attract way more people than Brazil versus Germany.
I totally agree. So, speaking of Brazil versus Germany, that's coming up later. Two teams that I wouldn't say their stock is in the greatest spot right now for either one of them. Everett saw Brazil firsthand in the scrimmages. We've talked about it a lot about the last couple of days. We know that they're going to be really weak at second outside. And then we don't know exactly what we're going to get out of Alan Souza.
He looks good. Souza looks good,
yeah. I'm really happy to see that after the injury he had last year. It's great to see him back. So, as for where can you watch the match, Volleyball World TV, that is where you can watch every match. Will Ben Match play for the USA? No. Get with the program. He hasn't played for the US in 2 years. He's entirely retired from volleyball. So, that's all there is to say about that. But for Brazil and Germany, Brazil has Bruno and Pichopa. They have Flavio and Otavio in the middle. They have Bucarelli on the left and Alan on the right. But second outside, I think, will be an issue. And they just don't, there's not all that good of a vibe around that team right now from my outside perspective.
Yeah. I would totally agree. I think Brazil is one of those countries, though, that even though, I had some interesting conversations with some of their staff during the 2020 or 2022 Canada Cup last year, and how they're a little bit worried in terms of what's coming up in the pipeline.
Yeah, I don't really see it.
I don't really see it either. They've got the captain of their U19 team or U21 team. No, U19, Arthur Bento, who's also Canadian. I've already been on him before. I don't want to get into it again. I think there's some good prospects there, but no one that is a Brazil level. Like guys that we'd be perfectly happy with for Team Canada,
but not Brazil.
But not for Brazil.
Right. And as for Germany, last year they came into Ottawa and looked really impressive, and then stunk it up the rest of the VNL. And I'm curious to see how it goes this time. I think it all depends on how good Linus Weber is. Last year, his health was a big issue, which is why they were bad at the World Championship. They've got two good setters in Kampa and Tila. Weber clearly the guy on the right. I think Massa and Brema in the middles are really good. But then outsides, I'm not totally sure. No Christian From this week. He's really important to them. I expect to see Reichert for sure. And then maybe like a Karlitzek or maybe a Caliberda or I don't know. And then also they don't have Zanger or Libero. So that's going to be a position of need for them as well. I think this game could totally go either way. I have no idea how
I honestly think it can go either way as well. I think it's a bit of a toss-up. If Germany can stay steadfast in staying in their game plan and being reserved and not going for too much, not being overly aggressive, because we know that Brazil's always going to play aggressive. They're going to run it fast, they're going to try to hit hard. They just play aggressive as Brazil. So if they can stay within their game plan and let Brazil make the errors and let the game kind of come to them, I think Germany has a good shot. If they try to impose their game on Brazil, I don't think they're not good enough. They don't have enough talent to impose the game game on something.
Right, and that's also when Brazil is at their best. When they start to understand you and can slow you down and run counterattack against you. Like that's classic Brazil. So I think you go either way. What's your pick?
I'm still going Brazil. I'm still going Brazil. I think Brazil 3-1.
I'm going to take Germany in 5.
Okay.
I'm going to take Germany in 5. I think it could be a good match. I think Germany has good vibes in this building, and I would just kind of like to see it.
Yeah, I think Germany does have some good vibes in this building. Right from the chat, who do you think, Bruno or Kachopa?
Kachopa. It's his spot now. I really think it is.
I think it's Bruno.
Really?
We saw Kachopa start night 1 in the exhibition game, and then we saw Bruno night 2, and I think we're going to go to Bruno.
Okay, we'll see. So that one's 8 p.m. local, 4:30 p.m. local. Just about 50 minutes is the United States versus the Netherlands. And I know tomorrow for our pregame shows in the future, we got to come a little earlier before the DJ starts going.
Yeah, we're definitely going to be here earlier.
Yeah, we apologize if there's music loud in the background, but that's just the pregame vibes here in Ottawa, you know.
Yeah, DJ Paul throwing it down, sounding great. So, anything else you want to touch on? Anything else we want to talk about?
Don't think so. I'm excited to watch these two matches. We'll be back after the Brazil-Germany game for the post-game show right here on YouTube.
Yeah, absolutely. Make sure to tune in on that. And if you haven't, subscribe to us, give us a like, and go check out that volleyball.store for all your merch needs.
And the Volleyball Source Discord, links in the description for the best online volleyball chat community in the world. Join that thing.
Yeah. All right, guys. Well, enjoy these matches. As always, you can check them out over on volleyballworld.tv, and we will see you in a few hours.
Yep, see you in a few hours. Thanks for watching.